silage fed out, of course. That'll keep us going out till Thursday. So next we want to get a stake driver because it's time to fucking sort out these heifers. Put a stop to this rambling once and for all. See you Thursday. So we don't own a stake driver here. We hire it off of a good friend of mine and a neighbour, not Dan, Donald. So I want to go down and collect that now. He's right beside me here, and he's good enough to hire me the stake driver. Get him for a couple of days every year, and I hope it's fierce well. Suits me and suits him, so we'll go get that now. Feeding silage and 12-hour breaks only work when the cows stay where they're supposed to stay. Wish they didn't stay. Looks like they'll just get less grass tonight. They'll have to do it out if they want to be bitches and feed themselves. Come on, you. Look, they know they're bold as well. And go on, help her. Come on, you two. Come on, get out. Now, me and Sid want to get her up some stakes here out of the pile of stakes up here, and then we want to go over to the heifers fields and the pile of stakes isn't out here either. I'm after losing the pile of stakes and I cannot remember where they were. Found them. So handy having him here, because I'm able to walk down along the line and count me between 10 and 15 steps between each stake. The same up here, and just reach over and put a stake off, put it out. So this is going to save a heap of time. So I'll go here at the minute. It's quite hard to manage them. Like that heifer let herself out now into the side where there's zero grass. Out half of a green field of grass into a side with no grass. I mean, sure, what could you do with them? They're the worst. Day 2.
Yeah.
Skill. He's a skilled operator. It's been 2 years since this hedge was cut. Last 2 autumns have been too wet, and you know, really the edge of the dike is along here, but we're going to keep it out a bit, the fence, and we'll just keep that as an area for nature, and the green party will be delighted with us. So we'll feel good and they'll feel good about themselves. We have a panic on, isn't there? Yeah. The heifers won't stay where they are. We have to get this wired now before 2 or 3 o'clock this evening, and then get the heifers out here into jail. So when I was in New Zealand, the farm manager over there was used to work for a fencing contractor, and I was always kind of interested in fencing and learning how to do it right. So he ended up showing me everything that he knew while I was over there, and it has come in handy now ever since I came home. So we'll get a look here at the way to do it. And there's a right way of doing fencing and there's a wrong way. I'm sorry now if anyone is offended by that. I'm lucky enough to have a cameraman behind the camera today. He's extremely well paid. First job you want to do is tie off onto the stake to strain it. So you're going to get probably a piece of wire that long and we'll snip it off. Now for tying off, you'll see this on YouTube anywhere you look it up, but it's under, over usually. So we want to go under the cross here and over, and back under the outside. We make a tight loop like that, and we want to slide it up then. Now to set the height, I always use a white stake. So it's roughly the same height as a temporary fence, so that'll roughly be our height for the day on every stake. So you put it in as tight as you can there, so it's under, over, under, and then back over this one. You want to make a bit of a handle then with the wire like that so that you can grab it. You do one, it's called a loose loop, like that, and then you do 3 tight loops. So 1, 2, and then 3. And then, simple as that, you twist your handle out to 90 degrees and you just spin it fairly fast. And your wire will break off, like that. We're looking for loops, tight loops like that, 3 tight loops and a loose one. So you sort of want it to look like that when you're finished. Right. Next then you want to put your egg insulator on that, obviously. So what I do to make them all the same width, because if you just sort of guessed it, they wouldn't be all the same width. So just make a fist to my thumb, and I put a 90-degree bend at your thumb like that. Alright. Next you get your insulator then. You want to slide it on like that. You want to cross over, make a handle first, like that. And you want to cross over the 2 wires, and as you want that as tight to the insulator as possible so it's not loose on it. So as you're pulling this one, your right hand down, you twist with your left hand at the same time, like that, and then you end up with your loops, and then it's just 3 tight loops again here. So 1, 2, and that's 3, and then you just twist your handle and the wire breaks off. You want it to look as close to that as possible. So we're being kind of tight. These should really be straight across, but we're not going to bother. So there's only 1 strand of pull wire, so we won't pull it over tight. But as you can see, if you look down along the line there, it's a long way to the bottom. So we won't go the whole way to the bottom. We'll go about half and do the same thing again. Insulator off, and then tension the wire that far, and then we'll go from there then to the bottom again. So what we'll do now is we'll just catch the wire here, and we'll walk the whole way down to the stake that we want to go to, and we'll do this setup again down there. So we're away from the reeler now, so you want to walk away from the reeler wire and you're playing off the opposite end, so you can keep just pulling the wire as soon as you want it. So same story down here, put half a loop about that size, stick your wire in the ground then like that, and it won't disappear back up the field on you. And it's pretty much the same as last time, loops and put insulator on. So we have that line finished as far as here now. I'll just show you then to start the next line. If you leave your 2 staples front and back here out a little bit, you're able to put your wire through them loops, and then it keeps all the wires together and at the same height. So we're at the same point here now this time. Just put the insulator on and we'll walk down with this wire at the very end, and I'll show you tension and up and all down there this time. So when you want to tie off onto these, it can be hard enough to keep the crossovers tight like that. So a good trick, they call this the wizard's hat, you'll see in a minute why, but you want to just probably leave about that much and then put a bend in the middle, tight, like that. And come down about 2 fingers worth, which is about 2 inches I suppose, bend it like that, and then roughly the same on the opposite side, and just make that a bit tighter. But that's why they call it a wizard's hat, because it literally looks like that. So that slips in here then, and the hat piece, see, makes it tight in there. And then all you have to do is cross these over. But like I said, it's hard enough to hold this and hold that and get it all crossed over tight. So if you look then, down here, catch the wire, put it around the back of your knee, like this, and step over with your foot, and then lean back into it here. You can see it on your calf here, and just sit into that. It keeps this side tight, and it keeps the insulator tight. And then see, you're able to get that loop as tight as you want. And then it's just cross over, and it's 3 tight loops again, and break it off. It's as simple as that. So you have the wire insulate on both sides of your strainer post, nice and tight there. Yeah. So yeah, you have insulate on both sides, but you have to get power now from one side to the other, obviously. So the thing that I like to do is make loops here. So if you just go in through, so pick not the insulated wire side, now be careful not to do that. Go in through the hole of the side that's live, which is there, right? That's the live wire, comes in there. So you want to go into that hole, and just along the wire a little bit, make your handle as normal. That handle is the best thing you'll ever make on every piece of wire that you use. And we'll just do a couple of tight loops here. 2 will be enough. This. Right, so that's live there, out through here, and then into the same hole on the other side, onto the live wire side. Put it in about that tight to the stake, so it's not earthing off your staple there. So a loop like that. Roughly there. Take your handle and pull this side over. I'm sorry, 2 loops is probably enough there. There you go. Power from one side to the other. So my cameraman has to go milk cows now. He's delighted about it. But anyway, the field's pretty much fenced here. The wire's up all the way around now. New wire. And I have old stakes and old wire that was left behind now to take up. And that's it then. The heifers will come in here. Hopefully be in here in the next hour or so. That's the plan. Or for pop spring handles. But they're on the way. Elaine did a run to Quinn's first there. So new springs, new handles on 1, 2, 3 gateways. And take up the old wire and let the heifers in. We're good to go then.
Great job.
Oh, is there anything more satisfying than a new handle and a new spring? Unreal. 1 done. 5 to go. Fields, I mean, not spring handles. 5 fields to go. Also, you'd never be done spending money, would you? A pair of boots. Because this decided to happen in the middle of the whole yoke. Go around tripping up on that fucking yoke. Definitely the worst part of this job now. Going around rolling up all those shit wire. Yeah, once it's done, it's done. Well, I think they're officially the worst batch of heifers that we've ever had. Myself and Paul came over just to move them from that field there in here, and we set up a little temporary laneway along the bottom headland just to get him in onto a new field of grass because they're fairly hungry. And they just came into the gap and just turned right and ran straight up here and then ran around this field for 10 minutes. Half of them in there and half of them out here. But anyway, they're locked in now behind a permanent fence. Look at how unsettled they are. Something a bit different going on today. And the guest is just out moving the wire with the cows. They're finishing off the field. They're not too impressed there. but we can get till lunchtime there. And I'm out here. This is the field I made that TikTok on. I had 500 on it on Monday, but there's a bit more than 500 on today. Thank God. It's the first really warm morning out today. I think it's the 20th of June or 21st of June. And grass grew yesterday. It was 23 and 4 degrees here, and it's already 17 this morning. So, and you know there's more grass on it than what you thought, or than was on at the start of the week, because they've left behind most of the silage they got last night, and they were still full. So there's more bales to be fed out today, and I'll have to measure all the paddocks now today before I go near my honey bales, because there's way more on them now. And we don't want, they'll clean it up, but we don't want waste like that. One, it to be just stay on the paddock, and two, you're wasting money, really. I had a nightmare dosing the cows the other evening here. This pipe is gone. Look, it stand up on its own, and the end kept coming off of the bottle, and I got more dose down my back now than I did on the cows, to be honest. But at least I'm done for worms then for a while. But the women Elaine and Kelly want to dose the cows on the second farm this evening, so I've robbed this pipe, which is a lot better. Stick this on that, and they'll be good to go then. So it's as busy as ever here, obviously. We have a different job going on this morning, and I'll be sure to show you as much of that as I can. There's silage still to be fed out now, like you've seen there in the video. The grass is definitely growing a lot. It's really taken off now, but still isn't up to where our pre-grazing covers need to be. So there's still silage to be fed out, and there is, yes, tomorrow now was to be a wet day, but it looks to be gone away to nothing there. So we'll get some rain, and the silage ground now has only got slurry, so we need to get 60 units of protected urea out on that. At least with the protected urea, even if it's only a small bit of rain, we won't lose any of it, or a lot of it. So we'll have to get protected urea out as well. So the list is long. Hopefully the job this morning now that we're going at won't take as long as I think it will, which never ever happens. But we'll get that much done. But just being able to have the women dosing cows now on the second farm this evening, stuff like that is a huge help. Elaine will milk for me now. I'm supposed to milk on the second farm in the morning, but Elaine will milk for me there now in the morning, and that'll let me feed out bales in the morning, which means I'll be gone at fertiliser tomorrow then before the rain comes at all. So when you have a team, it certainly lightens the load a lot. Into the bin we go.